Hi, welcome to the DaSilva Institute's Health Talks. My name is Tina DaSilva.
And I'm Arielle Bennett.
And you, my friend, are worth it. Today we are going to be discussing Arielle's stool test, and it is super important to health. We check the stool as part of our GI workup because our microbiome is everything. And for those of you who grew up not hearing stool, you may have heard, what do you call it?
Poop.
Okay then, some people call it doo-doo. That's ridiculous. And we called it number 2. So we're talking about number 2 today.
And really it's all about the health of our gastrointestinal
Yes.
system in general, not just the poop.
No, it's all of it. But we have an interesting character today. Say hello to my little friend.
Giardia. So I had this guy in me. This is actually a really common parasite. Honestly, we test more people that have parasites than don't. You'd be amazed at how many people are living with parasites, worms, that's causing all sorts of symptoms in their body. So it's oftentimes not just gastrointestinal related. It certainly can be. You can have diarrhea, constipation, gas, bloating. That's not normal. But it also can affect your brain. You could have brain fog. You could just have low energy. You
Absolutely.
could forget words. You could have muscle pain. You name the symptom, it really can be related to gut health.
Or you could not have symptoms, like you really didn't have symptoms.
No.
Which is really interesting. And that's why the test is so important.
Right, so the reason that I tested was because I have Hashimoto's disease and was able to get my antibodies down to about the 200s, and then I kind of got stuck. So I was able to do that with diet and supplementation.
And
so
detox.
So I knew that there was something else going on. So I tested the poop and basically found that I had
2.
overgrowth of bad bacteria. I had this Giardia. I had crazy amounts of inflammation. And without healing all of that and fixing the microbiome, I would have never been able to completely overcome the Hashimoto's. So we're going to share a little bit of this test with you today. The test that we do is a comprehensive stool study. It's looking at all sorts of different bacteria, the good bacteria, the bad bacteria, yeast, fungus, parasites, worms, and I had a lot of those. So as you can see on page 1, I had 2 different pathogenic bacteria. I had Campylobacter and the bad E. coli. So it's really a miracle that I didn't have a lot of crazy symptoms.
It really is.
And then also the Giardia shows up as a pathogenic parasite on that page.
So where are some of the places we could get like E. coli, for instance?
Oh, it's everywhere. Water, it's just in our environment, eating out at restaurants. You know, we're exposed to toxins constantly all the time. So that's why it's so important to detox. It's important to always be making sure that you're having really large soft bowel movements every day so that you're, passing things through.
Keep the train moving, people.
Yeah. So a lot of people that take antacids or acid PPIs, acid blockers, you're killing your body's ability to kill off those bacteria that you're taking in with your foods. So it's kind of like the first line of defense. And how many people are on proton pump inhibitors?
So many people.
So a lot of different things lead up to that. Antibiotics, if you've been on antibiotics before, they don't pick and choose the bad guys. They wipe out all of them, which is then your defense system and allows the bad guys to kind of overgrow. So that's something else that was going on here. This particular section, they call it potential autoimmune triggers. And so I had 3 different overgrowth of different bacteria that can lead to autoimmunity. And the reason that they put them in that category is because they can cause leaky gut, which then can lead to autoimmunity. So I had to get that taken care of. Then
getting it done.
We get into, they call this section intestinal health, and we're looking at elastase, which is an enzyme that's released by our pancreas to help to digest and absorb our foods properly. I was at 218. Optimally, we'd like to see that greater than 500. So definitely needed some work done there. And then another one down here is calprotectin, which is basically just a marker of inflammation. So really anyone over 50 for calprotectin, I want them to figure out what's going on. Like we typically recommend have a colonoscopy to make sure you're not developing some sort of cancer. And I was at 1195. So
That's crazy.
But then the good news is that, as you can see, just I'm trying not to bore you, but just taking a close look.
I noticed a pattern with your stuff. You either have nothing or you go
everything,
big.
Yeah. Hey, if you're gonna do it, go all the way, right? So as you can see, when I retested after I did my protocol, I got rid of the pathogenic bacteria. Those are gone. The Giardia is gone. So who's laughing now? The overgrowth of bad bacteria is fixed. My elastase 1, granted I'm trying to get that greater than 500. However, we're talking about the pancreas and I'm a type 1 diabetic. So we know that there's some problems there, but it went up over 100 points. So that's awesome.
That is awesome. What are you doing to bring that up, by the way?
Healing my gut.
Hello.
And then I also take digestive enzymes with my meal.
That's
to
what I was
help,
waiting for.
To help my pancreas do its job until we get it optimized.
3 times a day. 3.
And
Helps
then
the train.
the calprotectin is now at 28. So it went down over 1,000
Oh
points.
my gosh, let's celebrate.
The bottom line is really any sort of symptom you're having, any sort of chronic disease process, it's so important to check the health of your gastrointestinal system.
Yes.
The barrier's not doing its job, if it's allowing proteins and bacteria and things to float into your sterile bloodstream, that's causing immune responses, which is then causing inflammation and chronic inflammatory issues. So it's all about the gut. Gotta start there.
All about your gut.
So this past weekend on Saturday, we had the opportunity to run in the Gasparilla Distance Classic, raising money for Hope for Justice. We ran as part of Team Freedom with the Joy FM to raise money for those who are not free to run yet.
Yes.
That are often caught up in sex trafficking and things like that. So we just wanted to say thank you for anyone who donated or shared
thank you.
and played a part in our ability to help with that. They actually ended up raising over $200,000 for
Woo-hoo!
Hope for Justice, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you for connecting with us at the DaSilva Institute's Health Talks. My name is Tina DaSilva.
I'm Arielle Bennett.
And you, my friend, are worth it.
See you next week. I tested the poop.
Check your poop.